Alright, so this is something that has been making the rounds. I've gotten a bunch of DMs talking about Ubisoft Plus, the subscription service that Ubisoft has that you can get all their games on one subscription. It's a lot like Xbox Game Pass. And if you know Xbox Game Pass, you know that they're really pushing this. Microsoft and Xbox understand that subscription services are the future of media. You look at Hulu, you look at Disney Plus, and you look at the big one, Netflix, and you can see that the money and everything that they make comes from these subscriptions. And everything that comes through those media, everything they invest in that service pays off within itself because of all the people that come and subscribe to that service. And that's what Microsoft is trying to focus on here. And it's what I'm getting a lot of messages about, is what kind of investment is Xbox and Microsoft going to be putting into the subscription service? And from what we see, it might just be Ubisoft games. Now that is massive because we all know that Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and a bunch of other games like The Division are gonna be coming from Ubisoft. Not to mention other games like Immortal Phoenix Rising. A lot of franchises come from Ubisoft, and Microsoft sees that. They see that they can't just make Xbox Game Pass this big subscription service by just putting their first-party games in there. No, they need to bring in third-party support and second-party support to really push the boundaries of what Game Pass can be. And that's what we're going to talk about. I'm going to go into detail of what Ubisoft Plus is, what can actually happen with Game Pass, and if this is feasible for Xbox to do. So let's get into these articles and also what insiders like Jez Corden have to say. But first, like always, if you like the video, hit that subscribe button and that like button. The support is greatly appreciated. Alright, so let's get into this right now. So I want to go into detail of exactly what Ubisoft Plus is. According to their website, it's 100 plus PC games, download games from our growing catalog. We obviously know that this is on PC. It's a lot like EA subscription service where you get a bunch of their games on PC and you can download them, including games that come on day and date. And that's about $100 a year. And for Ubisoft Plus, you also get new releases. Play your Ubisoft titles the day they release. Much like Xbox Game Pass, what they did is where they put their first party games on Xbox Game Pass day and date because they know that would drive subscriptions and they know that brings loyalty to people on that service because they know they're going to get all the games that Xbox makes right there for a small fee instead of dropping $60 to now some companies $80 on one game. And you get premium editions on Ubisoft, access expansions, season passes, and more. To me, that's a big selling point. I understand that a lot of people don't really play expansions or DLCs, and to be honest, I have a hard time getting them too because some games are so massive, I kind of lose interest and I move on. But other games, I really love playing the DLCs, and there are value-added content to it. Much like Immortal Phoenix Rising, I'm going to jump into that DLC that drops in January because I want to play that game because I love it. Again, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I love that game. I'm going to jump into the DLC. That to me is a big selling point for Ubisoft Plus. You get the expansions on there, and that's what really draws people into that service. And that's just the tip of the iceberg of what the Ubisoft Plus can bring to Xbox Game Pass. I mean, Xbox Game Pass is already one of the best services in gaming, if not the best. I mean, we get games for $120 a year, and I'm talking about hundreds of games. You get all of Xbox's first-party games day and date, and they stay in the service. They don't leave. PS Now actually puts first-party games in there over time, and then they cycle them out. Games like God of War were put in and then removed. Games like Horizon Zero Dawn were put in and then will be removed. I don't like that. I don't like having games in a subscription service for only a couple of months. That's just a little off-putting to me. And I think Sony understands that, and they've talked about, Jim Ryan at least, has talked about being in competition with Xbox Game Pass, and that we'll get more details as the year goes on. I have a feeling they'll start putting games day and date on there so they can get that subscription service moving forward because they see the tea leaves and they understand that things like this where Xbox is going to Ubisoft Plus and Ubisoft to make a deal is going to continue to happen. And that's exactly what this article is talking about when it talks about all of the library of games that can join Game Pass to really make the competition look lackluster comparatively. With access to a huge library of games, some of which can be streamed for just $15 a month, Xbox Game Pass Ultimate is already great value. But now it's about to get even better thanks to a potential deal with Ubisoft. According to Jez Corden of Windows Central, Microsoft's in talks to bring Ubisoft Plus into the fold and join EA Play as part of the Xbox Game Pass subscription service. Ubisoft Plus, formerly Uplay Plus, is exactly what you'd expect. a $15 monthly subscription service that gives PC gamers access to over 100 Ubisoft games. Some of them are even available to stream via the Google Stadia and Amazon Luna cloud gaming services. Very much like Game Pass, in other words, just more focus on Ubisoft-made titles and the PC gaming community. Now, this is where I think Xbox is really going to hone in on. I think they're trying to make Game Pass very big on not just Xbox platforms as a console, but PC. Xbox Game Pass on PC is just as vital, if not more vital, than being on console, because the market is huge there. There's a lot of people that play PC games, and if they can just subscribe to one service, which is Xbox Game Pass, and get a bunch of these titles on there, do you not think a lot of people will flock to that? A lot of PC gamers love buying games, but they also love to buy games when there's deals. That's why Steam sales between winter, summer, spring, all those sales are massive. I even wait for those sales because they're so big and vital to PC gaming. They've almost become a staple. So if you only pay 10 to 15 bucks a month to get Xbox Game Pass, which gives you Xbox first-party games plus Ubisoft games, and now EA games, which come a little down the line from their release, I mean, what are you waiting for? You would subscribe to that in a heartbeat. I mean, I'm already subscribed to Game Pass and I'm never leaving. And they're just adding more things to incentivize me to keep going through that. And I also know that this would be a massive win for Xbox, especially when the article agrees with me when it says this. It would be a big win for Microsoft since currently there are no Ubisoft titles available on Game Pass Ultimate. A deal involving Ubisoft Plus could change that, much like how EA Play integration with Game Pass means a subscription to the latter gives you access to a number of EA titles. Presumably, it would also allow Xbox gamers to use Ubisoft Plus as well, rather than just PC gamers. That means they could also enjoy Ubisoft games on release date, premium content, and cloud streaming, all as part of their existing Xbox Game Pass subscription. Now, the main question is if we have to pay extra for this, but with EA Play coming for free, I wouldn't think so. The difference is that this Ubisoft Plus game is the main games coming day and date. That's where I think things change. EA Play has been a subscription on Xbox for quite some time now, and I think they kind of saw the subscription dying down because Xbox Game Pass might have killed it. EA Play gives you EA games way down the line after they release, so there's not a lot of incentive to subscribe to something that gives you games a year or 2 years later, or even 6 months later. But now, while it's tied into Xbox Game Pass, there's added value, because not only do you get them on your console, but later on you're going to get them on your PC. And again, that's where Xbox wants to really hit the market, is PC. So I see them using third-party developers like Ubisoft and a bunch of other ones to really get the PC market into Game Pass, because they know they got the Xbox console gamer subscribed. That's almost a shoo-in. Anybody that has a console understands that value, and they buy that subscription because it's a no-brainer. Of course you will. You'll pay 120 bucks and get a bunch of AAA games every single year and save a bunch of money. But now they have to get those PC gamers, and that involves getting more third-party developers involved. And that's exactly what Jez Corden has to say when he says this. I've seen rumors about Ubisoft Uplay Plus joining Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. I think this has a strong chance of being true based on stuff I've heard. And then later he was on the Xbox 2 podcast when he said this. Microsoft didn't just get EA Play and think, we're going to stop there. They're all in on trying to get all publishers to bring their games to Game Pass. It's just not Ubisoft either. I've heard they've been talking to basically every major publisher. And this is something I've talked about multiple times. We know that Game Pass is the best deal in gaming. But what they're really trying to do is they're trying to maximize how many people will subscribe to Xbox Game Pass. And the maximum people is basically every single gamer. They're not just going for Xbox first-party games. They're not just going for EA games. They're not just going for Ubisoft games. They're going to Take-Two. They're going to every independent studio to see if they want to put their games on Game Pass. They'll cut them a check or they'll find a way to get them paid. Either way, they want them on the subscription, just like Netflix, Disney Plus, and Hulu. They'll spend as much money as they can to get directors, actors, anybody, you name it, to make them a show or movie, because they want them to get the content on there. That's what this is all about. This generation isn't about just the hardware and what's this and pixel counts. No, it's content. That's the king right now. Everybody knows that Xbox has the head start over PlayStation, Nintendo, and a bunch of other gaming publishers. They have the head start knowing that they need to make content and they want to keep that head start. That's like what Netflix did 10 years ago. They started the streaming service and knew they had something special, so they invested like crazy in content. That's what Xbox is doing. They're taking a page out of Netflix's book and really putting the pedal to the metal to get as much content and great content out there for us gamers to play. I personally think this might actually happen. Will it be a little bit of a change from Ubisoft Plus? I have a feeling. I don't think we're going to be getting Assassin's Creed and Far Cry 6 and all these other games day and date within Game Pass. Now, that would be pie in the sky hopeful, and I think we might get charged a little bit more if we want that, and there will be tiers to the subscription. But I hope that happens, because I would pay that extra $10 or whatever it is to get all Ubisoft games, all Xbox games, and then EA games later down the line. I mean, that pretty much puts all the games minus PlayStation and Nintendo in one service, and that's what I like the most, is I can play them on my Xbox or my PC and get as much gamer score and enjoy as many games as I want. But enough of what I think about this. I want to know what everybody else thinks about this. Do you think we're going to get Ubisoft Plus on this platform? Do you think Xbox Game Pass can afford to do this? Is Xbox Game Pass being this profitable, especially with the rumored 15 to 20 million subscribers? How many games do you see coming to Xbox Game Pass from third parties in 2021? When do you think we'll be getting a massive announcement of Ubisoft Plus, or maybe another third-party developer putting their games day and date on Xbox Game Pass? Do you really think that Xbox Game Pass is going to be the ultimate gaming subscription service like it probably is now? And will Sony's PlayStation actually respond to this and try to find the marketplace for their own subscription service? Go down below and let me know. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please hit that subscribe button and that like button. The support helps out the channel more than you know. And give me a follow on Twitter at Zalker87. I'm always on there talking games and sharing my latest videos. Plus, I love interacting with everyone there. So get on Twitter and let's talk about gaming. Also, follow me on Xbox Live. My gamer tag is Zalker87, just like my channel name. See what games I'm playing, and let's compete in achievements for the month. Right now, I'm playing the Call of Duty campaign, and I'm really enjoying Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. This is probably one of my favorite Call of Duties to come out in a while. I've enjoyed the multiplayer, I've enjoyed the zombies, I've even played the Black Ops, like zombies top-down twin-stick shooter form. That thing's a lot of fun. I really recommend everybody try that mode out. But right now, I'm going through the campaign, and the graphics are insane, the shooting's insane. I'm playing on the hardest difficulty because that's what I love playing on, and it's just a good game. I recommend everybody check it out. I'll be probably jumping into Assassin's Creed Valhalla a little later. I just got kind of tired of big open world games right now. I've been playing too many of them, and I just needed a break. I wanted a nice linear experience, and that's what Call of Duty is giving me. And once I'm done with that, I'll probably jump into another big game. But let me know what you're playing down below. I want to know what everyone's playing. Are you on your PS5, your Xbox Series X, your PC? What games are you playing, and what are you enjoying? Let's talk about them in the comment section, because hey, that's what we're here for. And that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and until next time, remember, enjoy your gaming. Later.